First of all, I'm not going to sit here and lecture you, okay? We're going to talk. I want to get you whatever information you'd like to have. It will contain information you haven't heard before. It won't be your typical, we're not going to talk about wheels and trucks and stuff like that. I've heard enough of it. I'm sure you guys have heard enough of it as well. But we've got to get something out of the way first. There's something very, very important that we need to do that's very critical. And before I go any further, you see this evaluation form? Okay, I can tell you how to fill that out. You see the 5s over on the side. Now, the top part isn't really as critical as the bottom part, where it says presenter, Craig Riffle. Make sure you circle 5s on all of that. And if you need it reviewed, I'll be glad to review it before you get it. What we're going to do, and as I'm going along, if you'll please stop me, ask the questions you may have. The groups I've talked to that have been better have been the ones that have asked more questions. Because what will happen is your question will trigger another question, something I forgot to even mention. And so we're going to go through some slides. You should have those slides in front of you. It looks just like this. It's got the different slides and places to take notes if you choose to. I will try to keep you informed as to where we're at in the slideshow, but I'm not going to read to you either. I hate it when I go to COE and the guy gets up there and reads to me. So, let's start off. We're going to talk about what we call an anonymous threat. I don't know who that guy's supposed to be. This is the first time I've seen this slide like that. I don't know who that silhouette is, but I hope it would be good or bad if that was me. Let's look at this question here. Can you give me an answer to that question? Think it out. Any ideas?
Not planning for the future.
That's a good one. That's a good one. She said not planning for the future. And what we're starting to see is we're starting to see more and more concern about the future. If you look at the trends that are happening in today's environment, people are living longer. Edith is a good example of that. They're healthier. They are more active. Science has helped that a little bit, but also their lifestyles has helped them. And so what happens is we've got a threat that's looming out there. Here's some hints about it. Very few families protect themselves from this threat, which is kind of odd to me. I've been practicing close to 20 years now. I really didn't see this and start addressing it until about 10, 12 years ago. And then we've started addressing it ever since. But it's one of those things I didn't pay much attention to with my clients until then. It can jeopardize everything you've worked for your whole life. Could require properties to be sold. Could require liquidation of assets. Could consume wealth in a very short period of time. Any ideas now what it is?
Health insurance companies?
Health insurance, it's health related. But the answer is long-term care costs. When we talk about long-term care costs, first of all, I want to preface this by telling you I am not an insurance salesman. I don't sell a lick of anything. There's no product I sell. What we try to do, and who I work with, I am with the law firm of Mitchell, Gaston, Riffle & Riffle. We're general counsel for senior resources and benefits. That's who's putting this on today. And I'm happy to have with me Jeremy Nichols and Crystal Pritchard. They both are with Senior Resources and Benefits. They spend every minute of every day helping try to educate people about long-term care costs and the potential solutions for that. There is not one right answer for everybody. And we're going to go through some of the possible solutions to solving the long-term care problem. But you have to, as a person, you have to try to find the answer that's best for you. What I really love is when people come in and say, well, my neighbor did this, or my relative did that, that's what I need to do. Well, that may be true, and again, it may not be. But we're going to walk through the possible solutions. What's meant by long-term care costs? You guys have any idea? What's long-term care costs?
You have to put somebody in the nursing home.
Nursing home, that's a pretty common one.
In-home health.
In-home health, any other? Assisted living? Yes.
Well, I'm in it. So.
Well, we won't burden you with any personal testimony. Anytime you choose to speak up and tell us what you're not here. No heckling.
But I won't take over.
No, that's okay. If you keep talking, you're going to come up here with me. We'll do it together. Care in the home. Didn't they say care in the home? Care in the home. Care in assisted living. I just love these little trucks and whistles and things. Look at this truck. Care in a nursing facility. That's really one of the reasons I do this, so I can play with this. Unreimbursed medical and medication costs. Those typically all wrap into that cost. Now, when we talk about those costs, and I really like this next slide. The problem. People spend so much time and money right here. When you go to an attorney and you spend, I'm sorry, I'll get out of your way. When you go to an attorney and you spend time and money on estate planning, the wills, the trusts, and stuff like that, what are you trying to protect from? You're trying to protect for at death. You're trying to protect this right here. What happens when I die? Where does my property go? Do we pay estate taxes? Do we have to probate? And there are millions, literally millions of dollars spent on protecting here. But the problem is, what happens in this interval here? We're sitting here today. We've got to get to that point before we can pass anything, before we have those issues, right? Here's the need for care. And this is where the problem lies. Now, I'll admit to you, until I've been practicing close to 20 years, the first 5, 6, 7 years of that, I did not do any kind of long-term care focus. And it took that lady that came in my office that said, I've got a problem. She said, she came in and she was right here. She brought her documents in. She had been to see an attorney in Oklahoma City. They did a trust, they did a will, they did all this kind of stuff for this point right here. And she brought it in, I looked at it and I said, well, it looks great. I don't see any problems with it. What's the problem? She said, I love my husband, but he's in a nursing facility. And that trust that we had, we're spending everything we got. And her concern was, what's going to happen? Am I going to have enough to make sure I'm taken care of? Am I going to have enough to make sure he's taken care of? And then if anything's left over, we'd like to make sure our kids have it. But their concern was making sure they weren't a burden on the kids. And so that's what it was about. And so that's when it first slapped me in the face that there's this need for care between where we are today and where we're going. And that's the risk. What are the 4 ways to pay for long-term care? Insurance. Anything else? Retirement, assets. Insure assets. Those are 2 of them. There's 2 left.
Live with your children.
I'm sorry?
Live with your children.
No, wait a minute. Live with your children was the answer. Gosh, did I forget that one? I don't see that anywhere. Well, no, that's becoming more and more common. I don't have it in my slides, though, but that's becoming more and more common. There's 2 other benefits that are out there.
Medicare, Medicaid.
Medicaid's one, and VA is another. And we're going to talk about both of those, as well as insurance and assets. SRB believes, and I know that we at the law firm believe the same thing, and that is there's no one answer for everybody. We will, although we don't sell long-term care insurance and they don't sell long-term care insurance, we will encourage people to go shop that. I didn't say buy it. I didn't say not buy it.